When the first lockdown was announced, every restaurant shut overnight. 5 years ago today, here is my coronavirus story. Hi, I'm Richard. I've run and briefly owned restaurants for 17 years. Back in February 2020, I was working at Bocca di Lupo in Soho amidst an atmosphere of growing dread. Italy was hit a couple of months before the UK, red zones, yellow zones, especially in northern Italy. Their hometowns were being ravaged by a virus that we didn't understand. A sous chef got stuck over there, some people had family in red zones, you could see the heartbreak. Then, Italy locked down on the 21st of February. This is a photo from the 8th of March. We were making the most of a bad situation. But the restaurant was still going, until customers collectively decided to stop coming to the restaurant. 2 weeks after customers started staying home, the UK government announced lockdown. Suddenly, we closed. We put metal barriers on the outside of the restaurant, we hid the art and the alcohol in the basement because of fears of civil unrest. The entire staff were furloughed, but I stayed on. There were still things to administer. The streets outside were quiet, just me and military helicopters overhead. With regular service gone, I started delivering gelato by bicycle, masked up, keeping my distance. Some customers wanted to talk, but most hid from me. It felt a little bit pointless at times, an operations manager becoming a delivery driver, but those little human moments meant the world to me. On a personal level, lockdown changed my family as well. My sister ended up purchasing a dog in January, long before we knew what was happening next. Another, who has a serious respiratory condition, had to move away from her family entirely. But, in a strange twist, her 8-week new boyfriend decided to stay with her in isolation, and they ended up in love. 5 years later, they're married, and now, thanks in part to separate medical discoveries, she's healthy and flourishing. Months later, Soho opened with an energy I'd forgotten was possible. People were dancing in the streets, gay guys were snogging, and there were pompous policemen placed in little towers trying to keep everyone apart. In August, I went to Cornwall for a break, and it ended up being life-changing. Away from the chaos, sitting by the sea, I realised that I was ready for the next step. It was time to open my own restaurant. That newfound resolve was one of the brightest outcomes of those difficult days. Because even in the middle of all that madness, something inside me shifted. And that shift still forms me to this very day. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.